Rocky or Rani ki prem kahani. So I always tell them, that's how you say your name. Rocky or Rani ki prem kahani.
Yes.
Oracy is listening and speaking. We give explicit instruction for reading and writing. English is English.
Okay.
The British speak it in one way, and the Americans speak it in one way, and the Australians speak it in one way. The only people who've created another dictionary for the language are the Americans. So leave the Americans to themselves. They speak another language. So when you speak English, don't focus on your accent. Focus on delivering the words the way the words should be delivered. Mouth exercise is the organ of speech.
Okay.
Your mouth is like a drum. So the first thing I want you to do is a lip trill in our country about pronunciation. I can't look at someone and say, Jara tomato nikalna, fridge se, tomato. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Tomato.
Yeah.
You speak it the way it should be spoken in the language.
Hello everyone. Today I have with me Ms. Shaheen Aggarwal. She is a passionate educator and a communication specialist that teaches people oracy. Now we'll talk a lot more about this in our podcast. She is also the founder of Speech Matters India, where they teach people of all ages how to communicate well, how to listen well, and how to be a great speaker. Shaheen, thank you so much for coming on my podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So, can you tell us what do you do and why do you do what you do?
Good question. Why I do, you always start with the why. If you know the why of what you're doing, then everything else falls into place. Having been a student in Indian schools, I realized that schools are not offering children equal opportunities to speak. So children are not being educated in speaking skills. Listening and speaking are what people think happen by and by. People think that listening is something everyone does, but that's not true. We don't know how to listen because we're not educated in how to listen. Listening requires many different skills. It depends on what you are listening for. Oracy is the second arm of learning. So there's literacy and oracy.
Okay.
So literacy is reading and writing.
Yes.
Oracy is listening and speaking. We give explicit instruction for reading and writing. Is there explicit instruction for listening and speaking?
Never
I think
heard.
not. Speaking is left to the speech and drama teacher. But speaking belongs to the English language or the Hindi language. And like you teach children to read it, you have to teach them to speak it.
Okay.
So my reason for doing what I do, the why, is to empower children, teachers, adults with the skills of how to speak in an effective manner
Okay.
and how to listen, not only respectfully, but how to listen so that you make the other person feel seen, understood, and experienced.
Wow.
That's the why.
Wow. So I never knew that there were types of listening. You know, if I'm listening to you, I'm listening to you. But this is so fascinating. Could you elaborate on that? Like, what are
Sure.
the different types of listening?
Sure. So when you are in an airport, is your mind focusing fully all the time on the announcements?
No.
It isn't. But when that flight announcement or your name or your gate is called, your ear has picked it up, right? That's one kind of listening. It's called biased listening.
Okay.
You are listening for a particular thing while focusing on 100 other things.
Right.
When there's a party on and the mother has a sleeping baby in the room,
Yeah.
there's loud music, chatting, but the baby cries and the mother is heard. It isn't just maternal instinct. It's because her mind has focused or remembered that it has to listen for a particular thing. if I'm giving you instructions on how to bake a cake or anything, if I'm giving instructions, you are listening only for information. Is your brain doing critical listening where you're wondering, but why? Why should I do this? You're not bothering about all of that. Your mind is on listening to the instructions, right? Because you're doing informative listening.
Yes.
But when there's a class discussion on, when you're talking in a room, you're talking and you're listening to people speak about things that they have an opinion on,
Yeah.
you are listening with a critical mind because they're giving you new opinions, they're giving you new perspectives. You are going to evaluate their perspectives against your own or against the truths that you have or you know. You're doing critical listening.
Okay.
If you want to tell me about something I did that hurt you, I mustn't do critical listening. I must do comprehensive listening. I must comprehend what you are saying. I must understand the what you are saying, the why you are saying it, and the how I need to respond.
Okay.
But when couples fight or children accuse parents about something, we're doing critical listening. We're listening to
I agree.
separate out and to defend and to do all of that.
Yeah.
And that's why we don't actually listen to each other.
Right.
So listening is a skill.
Sure. So the first examples that you gave, except the last one, I think, when you're given instruction, you listen with that mindset. So don't you think we are already learning that in school? What is happening in your experience?
I mean, we just tell children, listen, right? If I told my children, please listen informatively to the instructions I'm giving, I'm telling them, I'm warning them not to listen critically. But you'd have that child, but miss, why that? What about the other day?
Yes.
Now, that child
Yes.
is listening critically.
Okay.
So, firstly, we've got to teach them the differences.
Interesting.
There's empathetic listening. If parents only understood that when a child's emotions are running high, shut down your logical brain and just connect with their heart.
Yeah.
They're screaming, they slam the door, you go. What do you mean by doing this? This is our house, you don't do this, things like that.
Yeah.
When actually all you need to catch are the emotions of the child and say, wow,
Yeah.
you're really upset about something.
What is it?
Yeah. So you discount all the words they've said. You're a horrible mother. All that they say. Discount it.
Yeah.
Because that is just their emotions
Yes.
being vented.
Wow.
If we understand that there are different ways to listen, we will have a much better human experience.
I completely agree, but I would assume that the teachers in our education system already know this.
Well, you could ask them. Did you know about that there are different ways to listen?
I didn't know that, this could be put into text.
Yeah.
But
it's theory.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
theory. I didn't know that we could put them in different buckets. But with my experience and also being a mother,
Yeah.
I know that this is the kind of listening I need to do that works for me.
Yeah.
So I also probably learned it the hard way.
Yeah.
But it's more intuitive. It came to me more intuitively.
Yes.
But I would assume that a teacher who's taking care of 20 students in a class, will have to know this.
I hope they all do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your take on, teaching in schools that come from power, that's strict
Yeah.
authority?
So, authoritarianism is not what you want. You want you want your children to have agency. So, if children have agency, they will then be encouraged to be accountable. In the same way, you have your agency and you must be accountable as well. Like when you're rude or you're offensive or you yell, immediately be accountable and say, that was horrible. Or I raised my voice, I'm sorry.
Yes.
But then you start to build a culture of mutual respect. Authoritarianism is not going to work with children of today's day and age. You will get them to zip and, if they're clever, if they're smart and they don't have any neurodivergent mind, you'll get them to stay under the radar, but it will emerge somewhere else.
Yeah.
So the environment in our classrooms needs to be one of mutual respect and one where everyone has their own agency, and so everyone is also accountable. Like in my rooms, I tell my children, I have enough power. I don't need your power. I need you to have your power. And I need you to exercise your power in a powerful manner, but also in a responsible manner. There is no responsibility without freedom.
I agree. And taking away freedom only makes them more insecure.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing probably we need the
Yeah.
next generation to be insecure. We them to be truly powerful so they
Yes.
can make the environment and the country and the world more
Absolutely.
enriching.
Absolutely.
So we definitely, need more thought leaders such as yourself, at least in our education system. One question that always comes up is what is the difference between ICSE, IGCSE, and the IB curriculum? IB being the curriculum which is taking a lot of spotlight. Everybody
Yes.
wants their kids to go into IB. What is your take on that? And my next question is, do you think the schools in India, the IB schools in India, are truly IB?
I am no authority on school systems and systems of education. Having had my children in an ICSE system, I can tell you the content is unparalleled. It's excellent. It's the delivery and the system of grading it that is flawed, in my opinion. Because the content is so vast, it shouldn't be one that requires you to rote learn all the data. It should be one where you can read large swaths of text and find similarities, evaluate, look at it critically, where you start to form your opinion about things, especially when it's about history and things like that. The IB system, my children were in the IB as well. It's a system that teaches you to think. In fact, when my daughter went to grade 11 in another school, the history teacher told me, I have to beat the ICSE out of your daughter. Of course, jokingly, not that they would ever do something like that.
Yeah.
But he had to get her to stop giving answers that were either rote learned or there's only one right answer. And it was a whole year later that he told me the ICSE is out of her. But he was a tremendous teacher. It also depends on who the teachers are. The system is only as good as the people who are delivering it.
I agree.
And I heard this from an IB, someone who goes to schools and assesses the IB curriculum. They said IB will truly be taught when the teachers teaching it are IB students. So
Absolutely.
that's all I have to say about it.
No, of course, and thank you for sharing that. My daughter is 6 now, and I'm very proud of her. Because she has her own thinking.
Yes.
The way I was taught was to just learn it and say it. And I don't even think I thought about what, for example, Gandhi did. I just said it because I said it.
Yes.
And probably we were taught in a way where we were not allowed
Yeah.
to think or have our opinion on it.
Yes.
Today, my daughter, if she talks about a subject, she truly understands the subject very well. I still think we have a long way to go because there's still power, authority in the class, and I wish she could be freer, but we are getting there.
Yeah.
Okay, so now could you tell us, there are ways where we can be effective speakers. And when we meet somebody new, our introduction is a very key starting point.
Yes.
What, according to you, is the best way to introduce oneself?
We've all heard about the first 3 seconds and all of that. I don't like to follow any of these fixed ideas. Because if I'm going to focus on the first 3 seconds of me translating myself to you in the best possible way, I have neglected you. It becomes about me. To me, the most important thing to do is to be interested in someone else. It's a cliche to say smile, but yes, smile. Whoever you are meeting, the minute you smile, everything softens. And ask a question. The most important thing would be for me to connect with you. Like when I got in here, I first wanted to know about you.
I noticed.
Although I'm here for you to know about me. But conversation, which people don't realize, is asking questions and being interested in someone else. If I'm going to focus on the first 3 seconds of me making an impression with you, I'm translating that it's all about me.
Yeah.
I do have one tip, however, and that is when you speak your name. I know that I've made a reel about this and has had quite a few views, but you've got to say your name like a movie title. So when you introduce yourself, don't just say your name in passing. I'm Shaheen Aggarwal.
Yeah.
My name is Shaheen Aggarwal. I need you to remember my name. So if I put my lilts into it, you know how people say, the way people call your name, like your mother may call you and say, Shaheen. So I mean, my name is Shaheen Aggarwal,
Yeah.
And I will rush through my name,
Yes.
speaking it as other people have spoken it. And that should never happen. So I teach my children, I love that movie title, Rocky or Rani ki Prem Kahani. So I always tell them, that's how you say your name, Rocky or Rani ki Prem Kahani. Yeah, same way.
Yeah.
My name is Shaheen Aggarwal. And you always give your surname along with your name.
Okay.
That my father taught me. He'd be
Okay.
like Shaheen who? You could be Shaheen Goenka
Yeah.
or something. Always give your surname so people remember your name and surname together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you introduce yourself like that.
Okay.
Lean forward, look into the person's eyes, smile at them, and say hi. Let your warmth come through. It doesn't matter if it's in a professional environment and a stiff handshake.
Yeah.
And I beg you, please learn how to shake hands.
Yeah.
So I teach my children everything. I've realized something. Children actually don't know much about the social norms and mores, about the way we conduct ourselves. You've got to teach them everything. So you teach them to join the L to L and then rap. So you rap and then shake 3 times. Let me show you.
Can be.
So you join, you
Okay.
rap and shake 3 times.
Wow.
And look and say, hi, I'm Shaheen Aggarwal.
Hi, I'm Jagriti Chaudhary.
Lovely to meet you, Jagriti. How did that feel?
Wow. Like it more substantial than
Yeah.
otherwise it would be.
Yeah. So was that 3 seconds?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
not, I mean,
3 seconds.
yeah, but it was more substantial than otherwise I would just say, hi, I'm Jagriti Chaudhary.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
The minute you lean out, the minute you reach out to someone, they say reach out and touch somebody's hand.
Yeah.
That's what they
Physical
mean.
touch.
That's what I think. Was that Michael Jackson? Make this world a better place?
Yes,
Yeah,
the
reach out
song.
and touch. Or even if you're doing a namaste, reach out and namaste. My name is. But let your heart meet someone's heart, not just your mind or your persona meet someone else's.
Yeah, be in the present.
Yeah.
Like right there.
That's right.
Yes.
Be in the moment.
Yeah, yeah. What are some simple mouth and vocal exercises we can do to improve our pronunciation, clarity, and voice projection?
Lovely. You mentioned clarity, pronunciation, and voice. Lovely. Those are 3 lessons in themselves. Okay. We'll talk about exercises in a bit. But firstly, there is a huge dilemma in our country about pronunciation. There are people who think, colonialism, leave it behind. In that case, don't talk in the language. But if you speak in any language, you've got to get the pronunciation's right.
Okay.
I can't look at someone and say, "Jara tomato nikalna." Fridge say tomato.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Tomato.
Yeah.
You speak it the way it should be spoken in the language. Pronunciation is as important as grammar because it's according to the pronunciation of a word that a native speaker or a speaker from any other country will understand the word you're speaking. Your accent is different from your pronunciation. Your accent is the way you say your vowels, the way you say your consonants. Like we Indians, we'll say, we have t-th, d-th, t-th, r. We've got all those sounds for the letter T. So we'll put any variations in because that's our natural tongue. In America, when they say and, they're taking a simple ah and they've got a slide and a glide in it. Yeah. It's their accent. You understand?
Right.
The language has its own sounds, which we call phonemes. Those are what help you to have unaccented speech. The minute you, like the Australians, when it's Australian, they say Australian.
Yes.
But it's by doing that you know that they're Australian.
Right.
So in my opinion, stop focusing on your accent. It talks about who you are. If you're a teacher and you can, then get your vowels and consonants right. Otherwise, don't focus so much on accent. It talks about where you studied, your family background, your country. It talks about you. But pronunciation is how to speak a word. Like, for example, the word communication. So the word communication requires me to take the A up because the shun at the end requires any word that ends with a shun to have the syllable before that lifted up. So communication, education, personification, anything like that. If I don't stress on any part of the word, the listener has to focus even more because I don't know exactly what you're talking about. For example, let's talk to our photographers here.
Yeah.
Photographer is the person.
Right.
Photographic
Yes.
is what they're doing.
Right.
Photography is the art. Photographical, that's pronunciation.
Interesting. Oh my God. I think I don't know how to take this conversation forward because I just know one word and then I just change the end bit. So for someone like me,
Yeah.
I speak a certain way and my pronunciation is something and I don't do the lifting of the.
But you just did.
I did?
And
Okay.
you will continue to do it.
Yeah.
Because that's what knowledge brings.
Okay.
The minute you've heard a truth, you can't unhear it.
Right.
So you will start adopting it and you
Okay.
will start becoming mindful of how you speak your words.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how long does it take for someone like me to change or improve?
Learning is never complete. It's lifelong. Every so often I'm learning the pronunciation of new words. Should I give you the little tip on how to? You asked a good question. Pronunciation is found in the dictionary.
Okay.
And that is my biggest grouse. If teachers were aware of this fact, that the dictionary doesn't only give you the grammar of a word and the spelling of a word and the part of speech that the word belongs to, but it gives you the pronunciation. So when you study any new word, look for how that word should be pronounced. And as a teacher, it is your responsibility to stand before a class with correct pronunciation.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you're a math teacher. You cannot say indices when it's indices. You've got to check the pronunciation. And if the children know it, and if they tell you, miss, it's not indices, it's indices, they get a remark in the diary because they've insulted the teacher. So if you show that you can't learn and you are fixed like that, what are you teaching your children? So pronunciation is like learning grammar. It's something that we've got to know how to do. So every time, now you know shun. Every time you say a shun word,
For sure.
you will remember to lift up a syllable.
Yeah.
A syllable is a vowel sound
Yes.
in a word.
Yes.
Right? Same way, there are many different rules you can follow. Like ik words, shus words, all of them, there is a penultimate or whatever syllable. But other than that, just go to the dictionary. But you would even if you looked at it in the dictionary, if you didn't know that one part has to be lifted up, it makes no sense to you. So one part of a word has to be lifted up
Okay.
in every single word.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Otherwise, we do things as Indians, we do things like this. Beginning.
Yeah.
Beginning?
Beginning.
Beginning.
Yeah.
Right? Why, when people say computer, we say it's wrong? It's because com is not the stressed syllable, it's pu. So it's computer. And you know, when you say that speak with some effect, speak with some power, where are you going to put the power? The power comes through these sorts of things. When you lift up parts, because English is a musical language. And so we speak it in a rhythmic manner.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we have British English and
No.
we have American English. No? No?
There's
Is this
English.
wrong? There's English.
Then there's British accent and
Okay.
there's American accent.
Oh, so we have
Well,
British.
they have American English also, yeah.
Okay, so British accent and American accent and Australian accent.
Yeah.
We should have our own accent.
We
How
should aim
the
for unaccented speech.
unaccented speech. But why do we still pick on an accent?
Because it's part of our culture. It's the way we've heard everyone speaking around us.
Okay.
So as I said before, I really don't like to call it British English because English is English.
Okay.
The British speak it in one way and the Americans speak it in one way and the Australians speak it in one way. The only people who've created another dictionary for the language are the Americans. So leave the Americans to themselves. They speak another language. As in, they have different words for what we have in the English dictionary. So when you speak English, don't focus on your accent. Focus on delivering the words the way the words should be delivered. You understand what I'm
Yes, yes,
saying?
of course, of course.
Don't worry about, we're saying taxi and tomato. That's just the way we say the T in
Yeah.
India.
Would you say that communication is
Communication.
Yeah. Would you say that communication is more about getting your point across
Yeah.
than sounding a certain way?
Communication is about being understood and it's about understanding,
Okay.
right? I cannot be understood unless I am intelligible. What I'm saying is decipherable by you.
Right.
That's why the way you speak is important. I'll tell you the problem with us. हमने तो बोल दिया. If you didn't understand, that's your problem. In a classroom also, if the child says, I didn't understand, they're immediately told, you are not paying attention. What were you doing when I was teaching? Not for a moment do we stop to think, how am I speaking? How am I communicating? Am I communicating so that someone else finds it easy? So pronunciation is just one bit of it. There's phrasing, there's how do you break your thoughts into chunks so that the person can digest. Every time I speak, every part of what I spoke should be easily digestible to you. Do you find it easy to follow when I'm speaking?
Of course, very easy.
But people, if I speak 19 to a dozen and then I'm bol diya to bol diya. I haven't stopped to see whether you've got what I'm saying. And that is communication.
Okay.
I have a responsibility to speak to the best of my ability for your comprehension.
Got it.
Your comprehension is reliant on my speaking ability.
That's true. You know, when, for example, when I speak to you in a different way versus when I speak to, for example, an auto guy
Yeah.
or somebody on the streets, a vegetable vendor, I have to pace how I speak,
Right.
what I speak, right? So, is it very natural for that to happen?
So the thing is, if you were in Thailand, right? And you wanted to buy something, you will say, how much?
Yeah.
very expensive, cheap.
Yeah.
You'll say a word the way they will get it. If
True.
I say, oh, that's very expensive, could you make it cheaper, please?
Yeah.
I've spoken beautiful English,
Yeah.
but I've not communicated.
Correct.
So I will leave out the unimportant words. There are in English, all words don't have equal weight. There are unimportant words to meaning, and there are important words to meaning. The unimportant words to meaning are only for grammatical correctness.
Okay.
So there's a lot of theory to speaking well. Now you understand why I say we have to teach it?
Yes. And I think what I understand is our teachers need to learn it.
Yes.
So if there are school authorities watching this podcast today, how do you think they can, I mean, they will agree to it.
Yes.
But they'll be like, oh my God, like, how do I, I have 20 teachers. Like,
Yeah.
how do I make sure that they learn this?
Yeah.
Do you have a solution for that?
So the school that I used to teach in, the headmistress recently said to me, she said, 1 billion schools need you and they don't know it.
Yeah.
I go into that school twice a year and I work with the teachers. I'm currently working with a school in Amritsar. I've been to Ajmer and worked with teachers in schools there. But oracy and speaking skills or oral skills are something that every teacher needs. I had some Instagram fame and suddenly people started hearing about me. So I had hundreds and thousands of teachers writing to me saying, please teach us, please teach us. So between May last year and now, I think I've done 23 teacher training workshops. And I have groups of teachers and almost every single one of them tells me, we've never learned any of these things before.
Yeah.
And suddenly, everything that they're teaching starts to make sense because now there's a completeness to whatever you're teaching.
Yeah.
They're understanding comprehension.
Right.
And how does comprehension happen? They're understanding grammar and how they've been teaching only half of it.
Right.
And now they will teach the whole of it.
Right. What you're saying is not rocket science.
Yeah.
But it just, creates that one awareness and they're like,
Yeah.
oh,
That's
makes
true.
sense.
That's true.
And simplifying things and identifying the gap in any subject. I think it's the most difficult thing to do. And I think you've been able to do that for communication.
It's been many years. And I have to say that for me, boiling it down to be able to explain it to a 6-year-old was the goal. If I can explain what I'm talking about to grade 2 and grade 1, so that's been the journey.
Oh.
You know what it is, but to be able to distill it down where it's so simple that anyone can get it.
True.
Yeah.
True. Okay. Can you share examples of the most commonly mispronounced words?
In India?
Yeah.
Okay. Opportunity is definitely one.
Okay.
So this is how I teach the little ones. So it's opportunity.
Okay.
So opportunity, that's one. Then we have personality. She has such good personality. But when I say personality, I'm leaving out an O because it's personality. Now, as a teacher, if I do not perfect my diction, my enunciation, how am I going to expect my children to know how to spell correctly? You understand. But if I say personality, so I say personality. So it's personality. Oh, then we've got being, seeing, crying, dying, flying. She's crying and crying, he's flying and flying. Don't we do that? Crying, dying, being, right? Flying. To speak well takes that fraction of a second longer. Then we've got take out your diary. Now diary is D-I-R-Y, but there's an A there.
Yeah.
So it's diary.
Take out your diary.
The geography teachers will say geography. I'm teaching geography, but it's geography.
Geography.
It's not history. The British say history. It's history.
Oh.
Now you understand English and British?
Yes.
History
And
and history.
history.
There's an O there. So you have to be aware of the way you're enunciating your words.
So in India, we're talking about 1.4 billion population. A lot of people, for a lot of people, English is the first generation language. Their parents didn't speak, but they have been fortunate enough to go to school, learn English. How can they improve their fluency and confidence in the language?
Good question. The first order of business is for teachers to start teaching the speaking of the language along with the reading and writing. So you address it in school. You shouldn't have to go anywhere else. You should have learned it in school, like you learn to read and write. Because you're going to speak more than you're going to do anything else in life. That's number one. Number two, for people who are not English speakers, who are struggling to speak the language, communication is about translating thought in whatever manner you can, even if it is in broken English. Break up your speaking into chunks of meaning. For example, I am going to market. I may not have the grammar to say I am going to the market. I may say I am going to market. You will understand.
Yes.
Because I've broken it up. Rather than say I'm going to market. I'm going to market what? If you say I'm going to market, it means I'm going to sell something. Right? So I'm going to market. So put emphasis into what you want to say. Break up your thoughts into chunks. Speak with clarity. Communicating is a two-way process. The other person will fill in the blanks. For whatever are the lacunae in what you're saying, whatever are your frailties, the person's mind will fill it in. But speak so that they can digest.
Right.
You may realize or you may feel that I speak slowly. I don't speak slowly. I speak in chunks which are quick. I pause a lot.
For
you
me
understand?
too. Right.
So that you are getting what I'm saying.
Right. So even if I can't say I'm going to the market, I would say I go market.
I go market.
Yes.
I go market.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Communicate.
It's just that one should not, if English is not their native language or language spoken at home, they can still communicate, keep trying, and grammar will come and fall in place.
Darling, today there is AI.
Yeah.
You have so many, there's Fluency, there's so many tutors.
Yeah.
All it is muscle memory of your mouth. So ideally, children should have grammar drills where they learn structures for speaking. But those structures for speaking have to be delivered with prosody, with intonation and pausing. So even as an adult, if I don't know the language, I can learn it by practicing these drill structures.
True. As growing up, I struggled a lot with English. And there was a point where, my parents were told, I grew up in Gujarat and my extended family, they're from Calcutta. And at one point, my parents were told that your daughters can't speak in English. Nobody's going to marry them. And I think I was 12 at that point, where we studied English, but we never practiced it. So we spoke in Hindi with our friends, in classroom Hindi was okay, so it was very comfortable. And that's when somewhere I got it, oh my God, it's the bad thing, my parents are embarrassed. But they were like, no, they'll be fine, don't worry, we've got them covered. So I had that support, but that coming from somebody we did not see every day. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a thing that I need to work on. And that's when I started looking at the language in a way that, okay, I think it requires work. Just like how one needs to go to the gym, one needs to go every day so that it becomes stronger. Even though I don't like to speak in English, I need to do, every day I need to take one step more and, try and communicate in English.
And you've done so well.
Thank you.
But what you said was exactly the problem. We are teaching the reading and writing, but we're not teaching the speaking. If I don't teach you to speak the language, you will never build the muscle, the strength with which to speak it. I went to a couple of smaller towns, smaller cities in India. And the first time I went, I was actually depressed because what I had taken for the children was meat And here the children were not even drinking milk.
Oh.
And after day 3, I was like, forget about English. I am here to teach you to speak. You speak in Hindi, go ahead. But practice what I'm trying to teach you. They don't speak, most of India doesn't speak English anywhere. They speak Hindi or their mother tongue in school, with their friends, with their parents. They watch their local language on television or whatever. They are never ever speaking English. What shocked me the most was that the teachers are teaching even English in Hindi.
Yeah.
They read the chapter in English and all explaining is done in Hindi. How are the children ever going to? And what is the reason? We have to shed this idea of colonialism. If the British did anything for the world, it was to give us a lingua franca. English is no more the language of the British. It belongs to the world. It is our language of communication, our language of engineering, of science, of medicine, of trade. If you don't speak English well, you are disadvantaging yourself. So for everyone who's speaking in English and saying that, oh, this colonial hangover, get over your own colonial hangover, Baba. It is not about trying to be British or trying to be English. It's about being able to communicate with the world.
Right.
I was recently in Japan. It is such a big problem. They cannot understand any English.
Yeah.
So there's Google Translate. There's so much lost in translation.
Yeah.
There's so much time lost.
Yeah.
So we're in a country where English is taught in our schools.
Yeah.
We are not teaching only Gujarati or only Marathi or only Hindi or Bengali. We are teaching English. Teach it to the best of your ability as a teacher.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
don't disadvantage children.
Right. Yeah.
It's really a wake-up call. It's a clarion call
I agree
for India.
I agree with you. Every time I travel abroad, I feel two things. One is that Indians have so much opportunity ahead of them, and a language or being uncomfortable with English language or the accent should not take them down.
Yes.
That is something that is happening, and I feel bad that it's happening with us, and we need to really cover up because sooner or later India is going to be on the top.
Yes.
Like in 5 years or 10 years, I can see that.
Yes.
So I feel that it needs to be done immediately.
Yes, darling.
In
You're
all
right.
schools.
You're right. And as I say again, to India, don't worry about your accent.
Yeah.
Everyone has an accent.
Yeah.
Do concern yourself with your ability to speak the language well.
Right.
That's what's important.
Right.
Speak it so that others can understand what you're saying.
Right.
You know?
Okay, so coming back to the mouth exercises
Yes.
that can really improve the way we speak or the delivery.
Yes.
Could you help us with that?
You and I are going to do it right now.
I will
and
do
you're
it
going
with
to
you.
see the difference.
Okay.
Now, did you say I said difference?
Yes.
I didn't say difference.
Yeah, difference.
Difference.
This is so exciting.
Doesn't it sound right?
Yeah.
There's an E there. DIFFERENCE.
Yeah.
But if I say difference, I've left out the E.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is the organ of speech.
Okay.
Your mouth is like a drum. The more you exercise its parts, the better and clearer the words will come out. So the first thing I would want you to do, we have lazy tongues and lazy lips. So the first thing I want you to do is a lip trill. So you do brrr, just loosen the lips. I'm loosening even my vocal cords.
Okay.
Try. Try again.
What's happening? Yeah, I used to do that as a kid, with my siblings. Yeah.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
Now see, immediately my whole mouth becomes looser. Right? Same way. Now say something
Hi.
more.
Yeah, so I can
Are you
do
seeing it's already looser?
Yeah.
Now let's do a lip trill. Okay? lazy tongue will loosen, and the way your words are spit out of your mouth will be, look at, automatically my mouth
Yeah.
is looser.
True,
right?
true.
And then, of course, stretching your mouth. So, e, u, o, a, o. You can do that,
Yeah.
right? So you do lip trills, you loosen, and of course, then you must exercise the vocal cords. So you could do anything like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa. So the range that you practice will be the range in which you can speak. So I can take my voice down, I can take my voice up. The more you use your voice, the more interesting you are for your listeners.
Yeah,
So
that is more like
teachers,
storytelling.
yes, yeah, like once upon a time, and then he said no. So you use your voice like that,
Wow.
and that's the reason for actually exercising your voice.
I almost feel like I did yoga for my mouth.
You did, isn't she so much clearer?
Yeah, thank you. I think I should start my day with this.
Every podcast,
Yeah.
make sure you do these exercises.
I promise you, if I remember, I'll try to remember and I'll do it, because it's so easy for me to
Yeah.
talk now, it's not...
Yeah,
it's not
and
like
look at how
I'm
good it
talking in front.
sounds.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's record from the top.
Yes.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so now tell me, for kids who are more introverted, what are the things that parents can do so that, they can get them out of their comfort zone?
Do you know how many parents? I invite parents to my classes all the time.
Okay.
I really want them to come. Do you know how many parents are so afraid to speak, even in front of an audience of 8 children? So we want our children to be what we are not. The only thing that is required for any child, introverted or extroverted, is to get them to have conversation. Every single day, engage with your children in conversation, good conversation, not just what did you do, how was school, what have you eaten, where is it, what is your homework? Don't do that. Engage with them in meaningful conversation. It doesn't matter if you're introverted or extroverted. In fact, the extroverted children have to be taught to listen more.
I agree.
Because the introvert is the wise one.
Yeah.
They're listening so much
Yeah.
that they have this entire internal dialogue going on. So when they speak, everyone sits up and listens.
Yeah.
So this whole thing of trying to, I want to get my child out of their shell, they're not in a shell. Stop looking at them in that way. Give them the opportunities and the platforms
To process.
to share their thoughts in a safe environment. Don't keep judging them.
Yeah.
Why did you say it like this? Why are you doing it like that? They'll shut up. They'll never speak.
Yeah. Do you think reading books can help kids?
Most important.
Really?
You can tell, in my room, I can tell who are the readers.
Really?
Because the biggest thing reading does is give you language structure.
Right.
Children who are readers are children who can write well and speak well. It's when you don't read that you find it difficult even to put your thoughts into words. Reading is invaluable. Not all children like reading, but all children like stories. So the most important thing for children who don't read is to listen to stories every day. Listen to children's podcasts. And engage with data, engage with fiction and non-fiction. Listen to Nat Geo, listen to Vsauce or whatever the videos are for science.
Right, right.
But get them to, see, you are only as good as your schema.
Yeah.
You are only as good as the library in your mind.
Right.
If you do not have enough data in there, you have nothing to say.
Yeah.
So you've got to get them to grow the amount of knowledge that they have. That's the reason for growing knowledge.
Interesting.
So you have more to process.
Yeah, and we have so many resources. If
Yeah.
if one doesn't like to read, they can hear it. You can't be like, oh my
Yeah.
God, my daughter doesn't like, or my son doesn't like to read. Go read.
Yeah.
I think you're taking away from the kids.
Yes.
I think this is one message that I want to pass on to the mothers
Yes.
that I interact with.
Yes.
And they get worried like, oh my God, my child is not interested in math, or doesn't like reading, or doesn't
Yeah.
like writing. What are the kind of words that parents, teachers can use in front of kids? Could you give some examples?
Words are the most important carriers of the future. Your children will live the words you speak. So you and I need to hold our mouths and not let a word, any negative or negative connotative word, escape out of our mouths, especially about our children. The minute we say she's introverted, she's shy, we are putting that mantle over her. Shyness comes from fear. Do we really want our children to be governed by fear? Never. Do not let that proceed out of your mouth. Let only words that will build, grow, and birth amazing things in our children. Let those words come out of our mouths. Never anything. Are you crazy? What,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you? That idea of something's wrong with me will be embedded in their hearts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even teachers, be so careful about the words you speak to children and speak about children.
Yeah.
Words are vehicles that birth into the future.
Wow. Amazing and beautiful closing line.
Praise God.
Thank you so much for
you.
coming on this podcast and sharing, all that you have learned by yourself.
Yes.
And I can truly see the intention that you have to make the world a better place for kids to communicate, for teachers. I see that urge in you to help teachers pass on this to the kids. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Jagriti.
Thank you.
Thank you.